God damn. Alright, we are doing this goddamn video, live stream video right now. Okay. Goddamn. Yeah, we're doing this goddamn live stream video right now, man. Okay. So, what is up, all you fellows? This is my post-preseason, NFL predictions. So I did a post-draft predictions in April or May, and I just looked back at them, and they are not phenomenal. So it's a good thing. That was a long time ago, and yeah, let's get back to it. Hopefully, I'll make better decisions this time around. So we're gonna go here. We're starting off week 1 with a very, why is it sorted like this is my question. Why is it sorted AFC, NFC, and then NFC? Was it like that before? Scoring, yes. I don't know what that does. Yes. Okay. Live updates, yes. Calculation system, yes. Games must be played. Treat non-playoff teams like wild cards for tie-breaking purposes. Yes. Okay. Here we go. We got the AFC. What is this? My picks. Okay. Alright. So let us begin here. Cool. So let me just make sure, it's a good, also, if I paused it, so that was smart. Okay, cool. So we're gonna start off Browns versus Chiefs, week 1. This is in one day. So literally, what time is the Cowboys Buccaneers game? Cowboys Buccaneers odds. I gotta check the odds because, of course, 820. Buccaneers are favored by 8.5 points. Alright. I don't like those odds. So, let's see here. Okay. So, here we go. I've said this 8 million times. We're starting off week 1, Browns versus Chiefs, even though it should be in order, but it goes by AFC versus NFC, and NFC. Okay, so we got Browns versus Chiefs. This one, I like the Browns. Last time in April 29th, I picked the Browns to actually win the Super Bowl. And I picked them to win this game. I had them going undefeated for the first 9 games, I believe. But this one, I'm going to hand it to the Chiefs now, because I think the Browns are more balanced than the Chiefs, and I think they're overall a better team. But the Chiefs are just, I don't know, they're so powerful, and they got a brand new offensive line, and they're looking they're looking stronger than last year. So I really gotta, as much as I don't like to do this, I gotta put a lot of my money on the Chiefs. Okay. Wow, I look so sexy all of the time. So, and then next we got Steelers, Buffalo Bills. So this one, the Steelers had a pretty solid team. They had a good defense, not that good wide receiver core. Not so great with Ben Roethlisberger. I don't think he's a good quarterback at all. And I don't know. I think they just lost like all of their good players. And they cut their entire offensive line, so they have absolutely nothing. The Steelers were good, and they do not have a good team this year. They have maybe a solid 7-9 team, or 7-10 team actually now, or maybe an 8-9. But the Bills are possible AFC champions, so I got to give that one to the Bills. Then we have the Ravens versus the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to be actually somewhat solid this year. They just picked up KJ Wright, which is a huge addition. They have good. I mean, look, they're looking good. Besides Derek Carr, I got to give they lost a lot of their offensive line too. They lost 3 or 4 starters on their offensive line, which really is not doing them any favors. So, yeah, I mean, their defense is average, their offense is average, but compared to this Ravens team, it's 100%, it's not enough. I mean, I personally think the Raiders, their best player is, well, now KJ Wright, but he's not enough to stop Lamar Jackson. And yeah, so I'm gonna give this one to the Ravens for obvious reasons. Then we got Jaguars versus Texans. The Texans, I would say they're like a 2-15 team, but that's generous. I just think the Jaguars, they're looking strong. Well, not really strong, but they're looking good, and the Texans aren't, is basically where we're at here. So, yeah, Dolphins-Patriots is a very controversial game for many reasons. I think last year, Dolphins' defense was the best defense in the AFC. And the Patriots, look, they got rid of Cam Newton, which was smart. But this game, they don't have Stephon Gilmore, which against Jalen Waddle, I think Stephon Gilmore was a key player to have, and I think that's just going to be the difference. And also, I don't think Mac Jones will be as accustomed week 1 to be able to handle this defense. I feel like they're mostly just going to try to run it. I don't have any faith in Mac Jones being able to, throw beyond this Dolphins secondary. So I'm going to give this one to the Dolphins in a close one. Then we have Jets versus Panthers. I'm going to pick the same result as I did last time. This one is it's just a matter of, the Panthers have Sam Darnold. He's overall a good QB. He was just ruined by Adam Gase. And the Jets, Zach Wilson, I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch any of the Jets preseason games because why would I? So I haven't seen Zach Wilson play. But I know the rest of the Jets team, and I don't think there's any. I think they'll be better than last year. I think maybe they're a 5-12 team, somewhere around there. But I don't see week 1 versus Sam Darnold. I don't see Sam Darnold and Christian McCaffrey. I don't see anything this Jets defense can do here. So then we have Seattle versus the Colts. This is going to be a good one. I like this one, obviously. But Seattle lost some key members on defense. They didn't get Aldon Smith, and they lost KJ Wright, and they lost Shaquille Griffin, they lost Shaquem Griffin, but they also tightened their secondary. Really, plus they have, with Bobby Wagner and Jordan Brooks, they're solid, and they have the defensive ends, Carlos Dunlap, Benson Mayo. Alton Robinson. They got a lot going here. Poona Ford. But their defense is solidified since last season, and I think they're really in tip-top shape. I think Jamal Adams is going to be a breakout player this year. I really do. And they also got Dwayne Eskridge, wide receiver, and they have Gerald Everett. So they really, got good shit going for them on both sides of the football. And then you go to the Colts, who I believe are going to be like the 49ers. the past few years, my glasses are literally falling apart as I'm trying to do this. I think the Colts are going to be like the 49ers the past couple of years. They're just in for in two ways. I think they're going to be very on and off, very playoff team, really shitty. Playoff team, really shitty. I also think they're going to be insanely injury prone. They've had multiple injuries over the past few months, and even Carson Wentz, and he is set to play this game, but I mean, after all the hardships he's had, and then to go on and get injured twice in 2 years, I don't know how well he's going to play, especially with a new team. And the Colts defense hasn't really improved. So I got to give this one to Seattle because I just don't see the Colts last time I had the Colts winning the AFC South, and I had the AFC South as the worst division. But now, I mean, we're going to have to see. I just don't think they're going to be able to do anything. It's really questionable. Vikings versus Bengals. Now, I think Bengals is going to be like the toughest shitty team this season, and then you have the Vikings who really solidified their defense. I mean, they got PP. They re-signed Harrison Smith. They got a lot of good things going for them on defense. I mean, obviously their defense has been a problem the past 16 decades, so that's something they definitely had to focus on. And I mean, I like the direction they're going in. And I've always liked Kirk Cousins. I always think he's very underrated. And with Dalvin Cook, if he could stay healthy, I think they're going to be a really good team this year. I'm going to give this one to the Vikings because I just don't see Joe Burrow coming off of an injury. I mean, he has so much pressure on him, and they really didn't help that offensive line. That offensive line got worse. So I don't see them doing anything. I think they're going to be a good, bad team, but I don't see them being good. So then we got Cardinals versus Titans. This is going to be a really good matchup too, I think. But both of them lost some players, both gained some players. But the Titans defense has never been something to write home about. And I mean, it's just they lost good players too, and the Cardinals got J.J. Watt. I mean, phenomenal. They got A.J. Green, and they still have D-Hop. Did Larry Fitzgerald retire? That's something I'm looking up immediately. Did Larry Fitzgerald retire? Isn't retired. Oh, so he's still playing. Okay. You know who else that I don't like? Malcolm Butler. Is he retired? It says former. It says former cornerback, but here it says he retired. He retired yesterday? There's no way. We're delving into this story. Malcolm Butler retired. So he signed with the Cardinals. Wow. He signed with the Cardinals and then retired. Okay, well, I was going to say, with the additions of J.J. Watt and Malcolm Butler, that's unstoppable, but that is good to know. I mean, that's great. Alright, cool. Just had to make sure my stream is perfect. But, yeah, the Titans offense, I think last year they did better than they should have, honestly. I just don't think the Titans are a good team, and I think the Cardinals are a really good team. I think they're very matched. I think the Cardinals should have done better last year. The Titans should have done worse. It's hard. I'm going to go with the Cardinals, because I like them as a team. I think they're a really solid team. Their coaching staff is their biggest downfall. You know, Cliff Kingsbury really just needs to step his game up. Now, here I had the Giants winning their division. Snapple. Apple. But I had the Giants winning their division. But after seeing how awful they truly are, and seeing how solidified, how many times have I said solidified in the past 10 minutes? But this Broncos defense it's top notch. It's really great, and especially Teddy Bridgewater as quarterback. I think the Broncos are going to be a good team this year, and the Giants, their offensive line is fucking disgusting. It doesn't exist, and in order for Daniel Jones to improve on what he's doing, he needs an O-line, and they don't have one, and they cannot rely on Saquon Barkley because he was out for 14 games last year. There's absolutely, I just do not believe in their offense at all. Their defense is one thing. Their defense has been good, consistent, but the offense they cannot do anything. And their O-line has gotten worse, and Daniel Jones has never gotten any better, and I just don't know how the Giants really recover from this, because they need no line, and they just do not have it. So I got to give this to the Broncos. Then we have the Chargers versus the Washington Red Wolves, the Washington Wildflowers. Okay, so we got, Chargers. First thing I'm going to say about the Chargers, which is the first thing everyone should say when they bring up the Chargers, Justin Herbert. How phenomenal has he looked? He's outstanding. I think Chargers are a definite playoff team this year, and I thought that in April too. I think they're really solid. They're great. They're phenomenal. Washington has the defense. They do not have the offense, especially with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I do love him. I love his beard, but I am not confident in his ability as much as I love him, and I hate to say anything bad about him, and I think he's outstanding, and I really want him to be good. He's not. He's time and time again, he's just not come through. And I think Terry McLaurin is going to be left, he's going to be another Calvin Johnson situation with the way the Washington Wildcards are running this year. I got to go with the Chargers. I think they're a really solid team. And yes, then we go on to the NFC. We have Mr. Chicago Bears versus the LA Rams. LA Rams are a Super Bowl team, not a Super Bowl contender, a Super Bowl team. The Rams are defense phenomenal. I believe they might have lost John Johnson III. Other than that, I think they're fine. Which obviously I'm going to look this up because John Johnson. Yeah, he's a free safety for the Cleveland Browns. And yeah, that's also something I forgot to mention for the Browns, is that they picked him up. But losing him, that's pretty big. But with the rest of their defense, it's nothing. Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald are just top 5. Both of them are top 5 defensive players in the NFL right now. And versus Chicago, just with Andy Dalton starting, I don't think Justin Fields could do it either. Just Nothing against this defense. There's just really nothing that they could do, I don't think. And plus, the Rams offense, yeah, they lost their tight end, but they got Matt Stafford. And, even better, they got rid of Jared Goff. So, the Rams are... Matt Stafford is finally going to get a Super Bowl trophy and a Super Bowl ring. And I think that's phenomenal, and I'm very excited for him. And yeah, I just don't think this Rams offense/defense can be stopped by anyone. Well, we'll get to that in the upcoming weeks. But right now, week 1, Bears defense, shitty. Bears offense, shitty. There's nothing. There's nothing here. It's going to be not a blowout. It's going to be a close game, but it's not. Here we go. So we got Saints. They got Jameis Winston. There's nothing really to say about the Saints except they lost their good players. They lost their good players except Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara. And there's just Marshawn Lattimore. There's really just nothing to be said about the Saints that's good. It's a failing franchise right now, and the Green Bay Packers are not booming, but they've dropped in morale the past year, but they're still good. And the only problem I have with the Green Bay Packers is when people think Aaron Jones is a top 10 running back. Then we move on. 49ers versus the Lions. This one, NFC West is going to get all wins here because this week 1, because the Lions are just... I don't think... they're just... Jared Goff is... If Matt Stafford can't do it, Jared Goff can't do it. You know? It's... They got nothing. They got nothing. Who picked up Marvin Jones? Marvin Jones Jr. Wasn't it the Jets? Oh no, the Jaguars. Okay. Yeah, the Jaguars picked him up off the Lions, he was like one of their 3 good players. Then we have Cowboys versus Buccaneers. Now this one I really I like how Giants are winning. This one I really don't like the Buccaneers winning this. Of course they're going to, because Tom Brady wins on whatever team he's on. And yeah, the Cowboys, I don't get all of the hype. I do not understand all of the hype with the Cowboys. That, like, everyone's saying because Dak is back, they're Super Bowl contenders. Okay, you said that last year, and he was out for 78 games. You said that the year before you got knocked off out of the playoffs. It's just time and a time again. I'm gonna keep saying that phrase, time and time again, that the Cowboys have just been overhyped, and they just never come through. And that's not gonna change until they reshape their entire team, especially with Ezekiel Elliott. And every single Cowboys fan is, oh well, the fumbles are in the past. Okay, he's not Chris Carson. He's not Chris Carson. He doesn't leave fumbles in the past. Chris Carson had one bad year. Ezekiel Elliott has had year after year after year of shitty fumbles and just a shitty time overall. And who's to say that Dak is even going to be good off of his injury? They're saying Dak's back, that makes them Super Bowl contenders. They don't know. We don't even know how Dak's going to do. He could break his ankle again on week 2. Because, I mean, you saw that thing. It snapped in half. You can't. When a team like this relies so heavily on one player, they're not a good team. They're not a good team. I just do not understand it. Because they're not a good team. If your entire offense depends on your quarterback gets injured, you lose all of your games, that's not a good team. That's just a good quarterback. And who's to say he's going to be as good as he was a few years ago? No one can say that because we don't know. The Buccaneers, however, are flawless. Yes, they're a wild card team, but they're good. They're a good team. Their offense is solid. Their defense is solid. The Cowboys have nothing. I'm sorry. The Cowboys are my least favorite team in the entire league. They're my least favorite team in the entire league. Used to be the Patriots. Thought it would be the Patriots forever. They released Cam Newton. We're good. They don't have Tom Brady anymore. They don't have Cam Newton anymore. Bill Belichick reminds me of my grandpa. And Mac Jones, fresh start. I don't know the kid, so I can't have an opinion on him, you know? And so, I'm not saying I like the Patriots. I just don't hate them as much as the Cowboys. I fucking hate the Cowboys. They're my least favorite team. I don't get why they say the Cowboys are America's team when the Cowboys are the most hated team in the entire NFL. Okay. Eagles versus Falcons. This one's easy because the Falcons show promise. Falcons are good. Their offense is good. The Eagles are not. They're just not. They're time and a time, but they. Bro, my glasses are just gonna keep falling the fuck apart. They're just. They're so unreliable, and I had Jalen Hurts on my fantasy team. He scored me a lot of points, but he's not reliable. And he's not reliable. And I think the Eagles are just going to keep diminishing until they can figure out something good and some kind of strategy, because the Eagles got nothing, the Cowboys got nothing. So it's between... No, it's not between anything. The Giants have no offense. The Eagles have no offense. Aside from Devontae Smith, which we don't even know how good he's going to be. He's probably going to be a bust, if you ask me. And Jalen Hurts, who is not reliable. They need to start Gardner Minshew if they want a chance. And if they start Gardner Minshew, then I would give them the win against the Falcons. But they're not going to. They're going to roll with Jalen Hurts. And Giants have no offense. Eagles have barely an offense and barely a defense. Cowboys just rely on their quarterback. Their defense relies on their quarterback. It's down to Washington, who also doesn't really have an offense. And you just got to go with who has the better defense. Washington. So that's really what it boils down to. Okay, let's go to week 2. Here we go. Chiefs versus Ravens. Chiefs have 2 really hard games out the gate. So this one, I like this one. It's going to be like the Chiefs-Browns game. I just think it's going to be really close. But the Chiefs are so balanced, and not as balanced as the Browns, but they're so balanced and so just... They have everything. Their O-line is just... The Ravens don't have the defense to stop the Chiefs. They just don't have it. Broncos versus Jaguars. This one's going to the Broncos because, like I said, the Broncos defense just... Mr. Trevor is not... He's not fit for the NFL. He's not fit to be a number 1 overall pick. Zach Wilson isn't worthy of being drafted at all. It's Trevor Lawrence. He's not it. I don't get why they didn't draft Trey Lance, but it's We go with the Broncos here. Teddy Bridgewater. Not, I'm not saying he's gonna smoke their defense because they do have Shaquille Griffin. But I just think the Jaguars are still in their rebuilding phase. I think the Jaguars in a few years are going to be a really good team. They're getting good offense. They're getting a good receiving core. They possibly have a franchise quarterback. There's no telling whether Trevor Lawrence is going to be another Sam Darnold situation, though, and that's the thing. So, yeah. Okay, then we got Bills offense. This one I'm going to give to the Bills because the Bills offense, phenomenal. And they do have a good defense, and I just don't think the Dolphins can really match up against them. Okay, then we got Raiders versus Steelers. I'm giving this one to the Raiders. I think the Steelers just, they don't have it. They're not it. They're just not it. Last year was a good year for them, but they really fell apart in the end, and they just fell apart even more in the off-season. Then we got the Browns over the Texans for obvious reasons. Patriots, Jets, I give this one to the Patriots. Patriots starting off 1-1, which is better than last year. So I think the Patriots are going to be better than last year. I mean, Rams versus Colts. Again, the Colts defense, they're just not. Defense is alright, but can Carson Wentz beat the Rams? No. They don't have anyone. They don't have anyone. They don't have anyone that could make a stand against this Rams defense. They have nothing. And I feel like Matt Stafford is just gonna blow past their defense. There's nothing here. Then we got Joe Mixon. We got the Bengals versus the Bears. This one, I mean, I'm having trouble with this one. Last time I had the Bears winning the division, because they drafted Justin Fields. But now I'm not so confident in Justin Fields' abilities after seeing Trey Lance. Please start him all of the time and get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. But Justin Fields, I don't know. And maybe they'll still be starting Andy Dalton by week 2 if he doesn't die to the Rams, to Aaron Darnold. Aaron Darnell. But I think it's just two average Joes pitted up against each other, and I'm just going to have to give the edge to Chicago, just because they do have that stronger defense, but it's really just, yeah. So this one, I got to go, Titans, it's two solid offenses versus two who knows what's going to happen defenses. I give the edge to Seattle's defense. I just think, I personally just think, the Titans defense is not only is it not something to write home about, it's not even something I would talk about out loud to people near me. It's just not, it's not okay. And their offense is good. But their defense versus Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Dwayne Eskridge and Freddie Swain and Gerald Everett, and DJ Dallas, they can't compete. They cannot compete. Okay, then we got the Cowboys versus the Chargers. So I'm going with the Chargers. I do not think the Cowboys are a good team, and they're still leading their division 0-2. They're not a good team. Maybe Dak will somehow be able to blow past the Chargers defense. Maybe Ezekiel Elliott will hold on to the ball, but it's not going to happen. Then we got the Giants versus Washington. Wild cards. I honestly see Washington sweeping the Giants because their defense versus no offensive line. I just don't know what the Giants can really do this season to improve. And it's maybe by, you know, halfway through the season they'll have figured out something. Maybe signed a couple, undrafted free agents, but I don't really know what they could do. Then we got Buccaneers versus Falcons. Falcons again, just don't have a defense. There's not, you know. Saints versus Panthers. I'm giving this one to the Panthers because I think the Panthers are just a better team overall. Saints lost a lot of their key players, and the Panthers are looking good. The Panthers are looking good, especially if Christian McCaffrey can come back and stay healthy. I like them, and I like their odds of making the playoffs. Then we got 49ers versus Eagles. I'm giving this one to the 49ers. It's a rematch from last year. But, yeah, I'm giving this one to the 49ers. I think the 49ers are a really good team this year. I think every team in the NFC West is going to be better than they were last year, Except maybe the Cardinals, but, yeah, the 49ers they're a really good team. I think they're going to stay healthy. Hold up. Achoo! Achoo! Okay. I just think the 49ers, I think they're going to stay healthy. I trust in them. We got Mr. Bosa. And if they can put Trey Lance in, I think they have a good chance to be playoff, late playoff contenders. And the Eagles, again, they're a 4 or 5 win team. I don't think they're good at all. Then we got Vikings versus Cardinals. I'm giving this one to the Vikings. I see the Vikings being a good team. They're gonna be better. I think they should have been good last year, and they weren't, and that was a bit of a disappointment. But I think I believe in them. I think they have a good defense, solid offense. And just the Cardinals, I don't have faith in them. They made some good signings, but I do not have faith in that team. I feel like, AJ Green and D-Hop and Larry Fitzgerald, I mean, those are 3 amazing receivers paired up against each other, or paired up with each other. But I don't know. I really don't have faith in them, especially with that coaching staff. They have a good team, but I just don't believe in them, And okay, here we go. Got to pick the Packers over the Lions for obvious reasons. Then we got Steelers Bengals. This one I'm gonna give to the Steelers. It's honestly a tough one. But I just think, Steelers gotta pop off sometime. And okay, Dolphins versus Raiders, a rematch from last year. This one is gonna be the Dolphins. I see. Did I? Okay. But yeah, I don't see the Raiders really standing up to good defenses very well. I really don't. I mean, let's look back. Raiders won against the Steelers, not a great defense. Here, they lost to the Ravens, better defense than the Steelers. So so against good defenses, I don't think they can do anything, and I just think the Dolphins have more firepower. Here we go, Colts versus Titans. This one, there's just 2 teams that they're up in the air for me because I don't know what to expect. They could both be really shitty. They could both be really good. I'm giving this to the Titans because I really don't feel that the Colts are really going to amount to anything this year. You know, I have them at 0-3 right here. I think last time I had them at maybe 2-1. But I just don't have any faith in Carson Wentz. I never have, and that's why I've never bet on any of his games. Broncos over the Jets. They just defense wins. Here we go. Chiefs, Chargers. Yeah, this one I'm gonna give to the Chiefs. Last year it was actually an overtime game, and the Chargers almost won. But yeah, I'm giving it to the Chiefs here. Obvious reasons. Ravens, cool. Panthers versus Texans. I see this one as I see the Texans getting their first, possibly their first win here. This is hard to do, but it's what it is. It is what it is. I just, feel this being an upset. After the Panthers did really good, I just feel there being some sort of an upset, Here we go. Bears versus Browns. This is going to be a Browns defense wins and offense wins. They're better on both sides of the ball. This one's going to be the Bills. Okay. Because they're just, Washington doesn't have a good offense, Cardinals are winning this one against the Jags. I think this is going to be actually a really close game because the Jaguars, they're a good team. But here we got the Patriots winning. They're just a better team. Here, I'm actually going to give the 49ers the win here. I think they're a good team. I think they're a good team, Then we got Eagles, Cowboys. I give this one to the Cowboys. Rams, Buccaneers. This one's going to the Rams. The Rams are staying undefeated here. Falcons, Giants. Give this one to the Falcons. They're Kyle Pitts, baby. Seahawks, Vikings. This one, I think this is. Last year you saw it. The only reason the Seahawks won was because Dalvin Cook got injured, and this is a hard one. It's hard. It's hard to fucking pick against my own team, but I feel an upset coming, and I think it's got to happen. Then we got Titans versus Jets. I'm gonna pick the Titans here. Raiders, Chargers. I'm gonna pick the Chargers here. Then we got Ravens, Broncos, Ravens here. We got Jaguars, Bengals. I'm actually gonna pick the Bengals to win this one, leaving the Jaguars at 1-3. The Bengals at 1-3. Colts versus Dolphins. I think this is a good game. I'm going to give it to the Colts here, and the Colts are actually going to get the first win. Then we got Texans versus Bills. Oh, no way Texans can win this one. Chiefs are winning this one, and Buccaneers versus Patriots. I think this is going to be a really good game, but I got to give it to the Buccaneers. Then we have Browns versus Vikings. I have the Browns winning this one. Steelers versus Green Bay. Steelers in Green Bay. There's. Okay, then we have. This one is going to the Saints. I just don't think the Giants are a good team. Here we have Seahawks, 49ers. I'm giving this one to the Seahawks. Panthers, Cowboys. Panthers here. Lions versus Bears. Give this one to the Bears. Cardinals, Rams. Rams stay undefeated. Then we got Washington versus the Falcons. We give this one to Washington. Then we move on. Bills versus Chiefs. I have the Bills staying undefeated, giving the Chiefs their first win. But they're going to meet back up in the playoffs, and I can't guarantee the Bills will be the exact same. Then we have the Browns winning this one against the Chargers. Nope, the Browns winning this one against the Chargers. Then we have Patriots, Texans. Texans won last time. They also had Deshaun Watson. I'm giving this one to the Patriots, putting them back in the playoffs. Then we have Titans versus Jaguars. This one is versus the Jaguars at home. I'm going to give this one to the Jaguars. Just good defense. Their defense is going to make a stand. Colts versus Ravens. This is going to be a Ravens win. 4-1. They're, you know. Broncos versus Steelers. I'm giving this one to the Broncos. There's just a better team overall. Jets versus Falcons. I'm actually gonna give this one to the Jets. Give them their first win here. Then we got Packers versus Bengals. Give this one to the Packers. Bears versus Raiders. I'm gonna give this to the Raiders because they're at home against the Bears. I think they'll be able to, do something here. And by here, I'm assuming they'll be starting Justin Fields by week 5. Then we have Dolphins versus Buccaneers. This one gonna be a Buccaneers win, as much as I hate to do it to the Dolphins because they're my second favorite team. Here we go, and then we got Saints versus Washington. I'm giving this one to Washington. Saints, Rams versus the Hawks. I'm gonna give this one to the Hawks, just because it's in Seattle. We got that crowd back, and I think our defense can match. Then we have Giants versus Cowboys. I'm gonna give this one to the Giants. Then we have Lions versus Vikes. Give this to the Vikings at home. Get that advantage. 49ers versus the Cardinals. I'm going to give a 49ers win here. Eagles, Panthers. I'm going to give a Panthers win here. Then we have Dolphins versus Jaguars. Give this to the Dolphins. Chargers versus Ravens. Give this to the Ravens. Bills versus Titans. This is going to be a rematch of last year, and I actually have the Titans winning this one this time. Then we go Texans versus Colts. The Colts are going to destroy this one. And we have Raiders versus Broncos at home against the Broncos. I'm giving the Raiders this win. Or the Broncos are at home against the Raiders. We have Cowboys versus Patriots. Pats are going to win this one. Kansas City pulling through with a win. Bengals versus Lions. I'm going to give the Bengals a win here. Then we go Cardinals versus Browns. Cardinals just have a tough schedule. Seahawks versus Steelers. Hawks get the win here. Then we got Rams with the win. And here we got Vikings versus Panthers. I'm actually going to give this one to the Panthers. This is a questionable one, but I mean, look at the records. They were 4-1, 4-1. I had these two being very good teams this year, and I think this game is going to be televised because I think they're two very good teams. Let's see, what is it? Yeah, okay. Then we have Packers versus Bears. I have the Packers winning this one. Then we got Buccaneers versus Eagles. There we go, Bucks. Jets coming off a bye against the Patriots. I don't think that matters against Bill Belichick. Then we have the Bengals versus the Ravens. Ravens going to 6-1. Chiefs versus the Titans. I think Titans are going to be on a roll after that Bills win, and they're going to get some momentum going. They're again at home against the Chiefs. I just think the Titans are going to have two really good games in a row against possibly the two best teams. And yeah, and we got the Broncos winning at home, Thursday Night Football. Colts versus 49ers at home off the bye. This is a 49ers win. You have Texans versus Cardinals. Cardinals get this win at home. Falcons coming off of a bye in Miami. This is going to be a Miami win. I like the Falcons. Even off a bye, I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything. And we have Raiders winning this here, sending the Eagles to 0-7. Then we have Saints off a bye against the Hawks for Monday Night Football. I have the Hawks winning this one at home. Lumen Field. They got the crowd. They got the better defense. They got the better offense. Then we got Lions versus Rams. Jared Goff versus Matt Stafford on opposing teams. We got Bears versus Bucks. There's going to be an upset here. Bears are going to not destroy, but they're going to beat the Bucks. We have the football team in Lambeau Field. Packers win this one. Panthers versus Giants. I'm giving this one to the Giants. I think their defense is gonna put up a serious stand against Sam Darnold, and yeah, there we go. I'm gonna be redoing these predictions every week, by the way, because they're gonna be wrong. Then we have Bengals versus the Jets. I'm gonna give this one to the Jets at home. We have Titans versus the Colts. There's gonna be a Colts win, ending that amazing streak by the Titans. They have Steelers off a bye against the Browns. I think this is going to be an upset. Steelers win off the bye against the Browns. Then we have Patriots in LA against the Chargers off a bye. This is a Chargers win here. And we have Dolphins against Buffalo at home off a bye. LA versus the Texans. LA wins this one. Jacksonville off a bye in Seattle. Seattle wins this one. Moves to 7-1, first place in the NFC. Giants versus the Chiefs is going to be a blowout by Mahomes. Washington versus the Broncos. This is going to be a Broncos win here. I just think better offense and similar defense. This is going to be a Lions win here. At home, I think Jared Goff is going to start to feel comfortable around the mid-season mark. I think he'll maybe get in a groove. Then we have Panthers versus Falcons. This is going to be a Falcons win here. At home against the Panthers. Bucks versus Saints. Bucks win here. Green Bay versus Cardinals. I'm going to give this one to the Cardinals at home. Then we have Cowboys off a bye versus Vikings off a bye. This is a Vikings win here at home. We have San Francisco versus Chicago. There's going to be a San Francisco win. San Fran. Fricka Fran. We have Texans versus Dolphins. Dolphins win at home. Browns win this one. Then we have the Colts winning this at home. Thursday Night Football. Buffalo is going to win this one. We have Titans versus the Rams. The Rams are going to win this at home, jump to 8-1 and first in their conference. This is going to be a Chargers win here on the road. Broncos versus Cowboys. This is going to be a Cowboys win at home. They're going to bump up their win status. Patriots versus Panthers. Give this one to the Patriots. Raiders off a bye against New York. I see a Giants win here. Then we go Vikings versus Ravens. Ravens jump to 7-1. Green Bay versus the Chiefs. I mean, this is 2 6-2 teams. I'm giving this one to the Chiefs here at home. Mahomes is just going to smoke their defense. Bears versus Steelers. I have the Steelers winning this at home against the Bears. Both teams are at 3 wins. And we have Cardinals versus San Fran. I'm going to give the Cardinals a win here. An upset, if you may. Falcons versus Saints. Saints are going to win this one. Then we have Ravens versus Dolphins. I'm going to give this one a Dolphins win here. As at home, Thursday Night Football. The pressure is on, and I think Lamar Jackson is just going to have a bad night. Maybe he'll have the shits again. Who knows? Okay, Browns versus Patriots. I give this a Browns win. Browns jump to 8-2. Chiefs versus Raiders. Raiders win. Upset. Bills win this one on the road. Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Colts. I give this one to the Jaguars on the road. An upset here. Saints versus the Titans. I'm going to give this a Saints win versus the Titans here. Sending the Colts back on top. Vikings versus Chargers. Now this is actually going to be a really fucking good game. Really good game. 2 5-3 teams. And this, I honestly don't know who to pick here. I'm just going to pick the Vikings because I think they have a better defense. We have this. Obviously the Broncos. Lions off a bye against the Steelers. Steelers are going to win this one. Panthers versus Cardinals. This is a Cardinals win here. We got Rams versus 49ers. 49ers are going to win this one at home. Falcons versus the Cowboys. This is actually going to be a Cowboys win here. Bumping them up. And these dudes suck. Then we have Seahawks. Even though they are off the bye, I still have Green Bay winning because they're in Lambeau Field. Russell Wilson is not known for playing well in Lambeau. Then we have the Buccaneers off a bye versus the Washington football team off a bye at home. I'm going with Washington here. With Washington. Okay, and then I think a pretty big upset there. Then we have Colts versus Bills. Bills still the best team in the league. Then we have Steelers versus Chargers. I have the Chargers winning this one. Dolphins are going to win on the road against New York. Bengals off a bye going against the Raiders. I have a Bengals win here. Texans off the bye on the road against the Titans. Titans are winning this one here. Lions, Browns win this. Ravens versus Bears. Bears are actually going to win this, pull off an upset against Mr. Lamar Jackson. San Francisco 49ers are going to win this one against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then we have the Patriots versus the Falcons. This is actually going to be an upset by the Falcons against the Patriots. Cowboys versus the Chiefs. This is going to be a Chiefs win here. Giants off the bye against... Not against this defense. They cannot do it. Green Bay versus the Vikings. This is going to be a Vikings win at home. Washington versus the Panthers. I'm going to give this a Panthers win. Then we go. Cardinals on the road against Seattle. Seattle's going to win this one. Saints versus Eagles on the road. I'm giving this one to the Saints. Eagles suck. Worst team in the league. Steelers versus Bengals. Bengals are going to win this one. Here we go. Both 4-7. Browns versus Ravens. I have the Ravens winning this one at home. Jets versus Texans. Texans are going to win this at home. Jump to 2 wins, which is great. Titans versus Patriots. Patriots are going to win this one at home. Chargers versus Broncos off the bye. This is going to be a Broncos win. Then we go. Mr. Former Teddy Bridgewater's home. Mr. Sam Darnold versus the Dolphins. I'm going to give this one to the Dolphins. Raiders versus Cowboys. Raiders win here. And this division is actually not looking too shabby. Falcons versus Jaguars is a Jaguars win. Bills versus Saints. This is a Bills win. Bills are 10-1, 3-0 in their division. Pretty insane. Buccaneers versus Colts. This is going to be a Buccaneers win here. Bears versus Lions. Bears win this. Rams off the bye in Lambeau Field. I'm giving Matt Stafford the win. If they still had Jared Goff, no way they get this win. But Matt Stafford is used to playing there. He played there twice a year. So I'm giving the Rams the win there. Then we go Eagles versus the Giants. I think the Eagles are going to get the first win on the road against the Giants. Then we got Vikings versus 49ers. 49ers are going to take the win here. Jump to number 1 in this conference. And we go Seahawks, Washington. I think this is going to be a Seahawks win against Washington right here. Colts versus Texans. Colts win this. Chiefs off the bye and at home. Come on, there's no contest. Then we have Chargers win this against the Bengals. Ravens versus the Steelers. This is going to be a Ravens win. Patriots versus the Bills. Bills are going to win this at home. Washington versus Raiders is going to be an upset, even though Raiders do have a better record. I think this is going to be an upset by the Raiders because of the Washington defense. They're just, Giants versus the Dolphins. This is going to be an upset by the Giants here. Rams are going to win this. And then the Eagles are actually going to win their second game here against the Jets, putting them both at 2 wins. We have 49ers on the road against Seattle. I have the 49ers winning this one, handing Seattle their first division loss. Cardinals off the bye against the Bears. The Cardinals are getting this win. the entire NFC West is in the playoffs. And we have the Vikings winning this one, the Buccaneers winning this one, and the Saints winning this one. Then we have Ravens versus the Browns off the bye at home. Browns are winning this one. Jaguars versus Titans at home off the bye. Titans win this one. Raiders against Chiefs. Chiefs are going to win this one. Seahawks versus Titans. Seahawks win this one. Saints versus Jets. Jets upset here and win this one. Buffalo Bills versus the Buccaneers. Buccaneers hand the Bills their second loss of this season. Steelers versus Vikings is going to be an upset. Steelers win this one, sending the Vikings to 8-5. 49ers versus the Bengals. This is also going to be an upset. Bengals are going to win this one in a fierce battle. Giants versus Chargers. Chargers win here. Lions versus Broncos. The week of the upsets here. Bears versus at Lambeau Field off the bye? No. And then here we got the Panthers winning this one. Cowboys versus Washington. Washington is going to win this one. Rams are going to win on the road against the Cardinals. Then we got Kansas City versus the Chargers. I give the Chargers a win here at home. Jets versus Miami off the bye. Miami is winning this one. Patriots off the bye versus Colts off the bye. Colts are at home. Patriots. This is actually going to be a really good one, and I'm going to give, wait. I'm going to give the Colts this win just because they're at home. And we got Bengals versus Broncos. Broncos are going to take the win here. Titans versus Steelers. Titans are going to bump up here in their division. Texans versus Jaguars. Jaguars are going to win this. Raiders, Browns win this right here. Panthers versus Bills. Bills are going to take this win. Green Bay versus Ravens. I'm going to have Green Bay taking this win against the Ravens here. Sending them both to 9-5. Then we got Washington versus the Eagles off the bye at home. I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game. Then I have Falcons versus 49ers. 49ers win this one. Seahawks versus the Rams. The Rams are going to win this one. Vikings versus the Bears. I have the Bears winning this one at home against the Vikings. Monday Night Football. And we have the Cardinals win this one against the Lions. The Cowboys versus the Giants. I'll give Giants the win here. Saints versus Buccaneers. I'll give the Buccaneers the win here. Then we have Steelers versus Chiefs. Chiefs are taking this win. Broncos versus Raiders. I give the Broncos the win on the road versus the Raiders. Ravens versus Bengals. Ravens are going to win this one. Jaguars are going to win on the road versus the Jets. Bills versus the Patriots. I have a Patriots upset here against the Bills. Chargers versus Texans. Chargers win this one 10-5. Looking good. Dolphins versus Saints. Saints win this at home here. Colts versus Cardinals. Colts win this on the road. Browns versus Green Bay. Green Bay is going to win this. They're at Lambeau Field. I trust Aaron Rodgers to get this done. Now we got the 49ers versus the Titans. The Titans are going to win this at home. Thursday Night Football. They win the big games. Then we have Washington versus the Cowboys. I have the Cowboys winning this one at home. Then New York versus the Eagles. I have the Eagles winning this one at home. Buccaneers versus the Panthers. This is going to be a Buccaneers win. Bears versus the Seahawks. Got the Hawks winning. Then here we got the Falcons winning this one at home. And then the Rams winning, going 13-2. We have Browns winning this one. Giving this one to the Chargers. Chiefs. Man, I'm just going back and forth. I didn't click the Browns there. And then I'm going to have the Colts winning this one. Jaguars versus Patriots. This is a Patriots win here. Dolphins versus Titans. A Titans win here. Falcons versus Bills. Rams versus Ravens. I have the Ravens winning this one. Texans, 49ers, Buccaneers here. Panthers versus Saints. I have a Saints win here. Vikings versus Green Bay. This is a Green Bay win at home. Giants versus Bears is a Bears win at home. Lions versus Seahawks. Seahawks win this one. Eagles versus Washington. Washington wins. Cardinals versus Cowboys. The Cardinals are going to win this game versus the Cowboys. Then we have Browns winning this. Then we have Chiefs winning this. And then here I'm going to take the Dolphins at home. Then we got the Ravens. Then here I'm going to give this one to the Titans. Looks like the Titans probably, definitely going to win their division. We have Chargers versus Raiders. Giving this one to the Raiders at home against the Chargers. Colts versus Jaguars. I have the Jaguars with an upset. Jets versus Bills. Bills win this. They're going to be number 1 here. Green Bay versus the Lions. Green Bay wins this. I have the Panthers upsetting the Buccaneers and sending. If they won, they would have been number 1. But the Panthers upsetting, putting the Buccaneers at number 2. And we have the Vikings winning this one here. We have Cowboys versus the Eagles. This is going to be a Cowboys win. Washington versus the Giants. Washington wins this, sending all these teams out of the playoffs. Saints versus Falcons. This is going to be a Falcons win. 49ers versus the Rams. The Rams are going to win this, take number 1 seed. Then Seahawks versus the Cardinals. The Seahawks are going to win this, sending the Cardinals out of the playoffs and bringing the Vikings in. Pretty awesome, don't you think? Then we go here, wild card round. We got Ravens. Now this is where we can go really in detail. Ravens versus. Let's actually talk. Go back here. Let's talk about our seeding. Bills and Rams win the first round bye. Okay. Then we have the Chiefs, the Browns, and the Titans that win their division, and the Buccaneers, the Packers, and the football team. And then for wild cards, we got Ravens, Chargers, and Dolphins, and Seahawks, 49ers, and Vikings. Now let's go here. So we got, like what it says, no teams on bye, even though the Bills and the Rams are both on bye. So here we have Ravens versus Tennessee. They always meet in the playoffs, man. I have the Ravens winning this one against Tennessee, destroying the AFC South completely. Chargers versus the Browns. Chargers had a good run, but the Browns are just too goddamn good. Dolphins versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to send the Dolphins home early. Seahawks versus Washington. Seahawks are going to pull through here. San Francisco versus Green Bay. Green Bay, they're a good team, but I just think San Francisco has the power to destroy them. Vikings versus Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are going to pull through here. Then we go to the next week. Browns versus the Chiefs. This is a really hard one. I'm going to go with the Chiefs winning this one at home. Ravens versus Bills. Bills win this one at home. Seahawks versus Buccaneers. This, in my last scenario, in April, I had the Buccaneers eliminating the Seahawks. And they're both 13-4 teams. They're both really good. They both have really good offenses, and they both have really good defenses. Let's really think about this. Can the Seahawks secondary stop Tom Brady in his passing game? And can the Buccaneers secondary stop DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett? I think it's a battle for points, and I just think that I think that the Seahawks might just pull away with one. Narrowly. San Fran frickin' Fran versus the Rams. Rams all the way. Then we have Chiefs versus the Bills. The Bills at home. The Bills are going to take this win. They're finally going to knock the Chiefs out of the playoffs. Seahawks versus Rams. This is a Rams win here. No contest. Rams blow out the Seahawks. Rams versus Bills. This is, honestly, I thought last year the Super Bowl was going to be Rams versus Bills, and in April I had the Rams also making it to the Super Bowl, and I had them losing, and this time I actually have them winning. Matt Stafford getting a Super Bowl ring, Super Bowl trophy finally. So there you go. That's the Super Bowl. Rams versus Bills, with the Rams winning. A nice, hefty 34-31. Bills defense isn't enough. Defense wins games. Alright. Those were my predictions. I'm going to be doing weekly predictions. They're obviously not going to be as long. But, yeah. So, hope you guys enjoyed. And I'm going to end this now, and I'll see you all next time. Later.